Garden Guide Charlie Stocker is joining us here this Friday morning. And Charlie, you're taking calls today. You know
yes,
why?
I am.
I think you're going to get more calls than you think, because the weather is, we've been talking about it all week. It's finally going to cool off, and people are going to get a break and head out to their
nice
gardens.
Out there now. It really is.
Jane is on the phone for you already this morning.
Morning, Jane.
Hi, Charlie.
Good morning.
I have bagworms on one of my blue spruces. What do I do?
She has bagworms on her blue spritzes, Charlie. What can she do?
On her blue spruce spritzes. You're thinking about something else. They're not spritzes, they're spruce. Okay, here's what you do. If there aren't too many, the economical thing to do is to just simply pull them off. And they're probably, anywhere from 1/8 of an inch, even smaller. And they will eat the needles. And all of the food in your blue spruce is stored in the needles. So it will basically run them in if they do the whole thing. So you can either pick them off. If there are too many to pick off, use malathion, M-A-L-A-T-H-I-O-N, with just a little squirt of liquid dish soap. If you've got one of those Gilmore sprayers that you can put the full amount in there, just a little squirt of liquid dish soap, and set it on 2 ounces to the gallon. Spray in the morning or spray in the evening where the sun doesn't beat down on that chemical in the needles at the heat of the day. And you may have to come back and spray the second time. After about 2 days, if you don't see them wiggling, you might want to just squeeze a couple of them. Now, this is for those who don't want to hear something yucky. If it's brown juice that comes out, you know they're dead. If it's green juice that comes out, you know they're still alive, and you'll need to do a second spraying. But you need to act on it right away. And that's malathion is the chemical.
George has a question for you too, Charlie.
Well, you're right. George, good morning.
George, good morning,
Jordan.
sir, and it's a pleasure talking with you.
It's great talking with you.
Charlie, I have had a garden for over 40 years and always planted it the same way, and I moved from New Jersey down here about 7 or 8 years ago. And the bottom line is I put plastic over tilled soil completely and put holes in it and have planted and always had bumper crops of everything. This year my peppers are deader than dead, all of them, and my parsley as well. The tomatoes is a bumper crop. They're about 5 foot high, and I have a bumper crop.
Okay, and your question is, Jordan, why are the California Wonder peppers not producing and dead?
Yes,
okay.
They've all died on me.
Yeah. Here are the things about the bell peppers. And I'm just telling this for everybody else because you know more about it than I do, because you've been in the gardening business for 40. I've been in that long as well, but not probably with the success that you've had in your garden. So let's start off with the green peppers, the California Wonder peppers. They like to be planted later than your tomatoes. The warmer the soil temperatures for your bell peppers, the better. And they like somewhat of a dry environment, even though you want to water them with regularity as you do the tomatoes. But my guess is they couldn't handle all of the wet weather environmentally that we've had of late, and they just gave up the ghost. I'm not a lover of black plastic, but you have found success with it, and I'm not going to find any fault with that. When you have that black plastic, it really holds a lot of the moisture in, particularly if we've had the rains that we've had. So I would say, you know, it's the rains that we've had and just planting later. And they can get blossom end rot, and they normally do at the very beginning, just like your tomato plants do. So I don't know if that's any help, but we just researched the problem a little bit, that's all.
Ethel's next, Charlie.
Morning, Ethel.
Morning, Charlie.
Morning.
My tomatoes, I've got them in buckets.
Uh-huh.
I've got holes drilled in the bottom of them so they drain out good.
Yeah.
All this rain we've got, would it
be possible that that's what's causing the bottoms of my tomatoes to rot as they're ripening?
Yeah, that's blossom end rot. And it comes from not excessive water or not watering on a regular basis. In other words, the soil is wet one day and is dry the next. There needs to be, and here's the word, uniformity in the soil moisture, okay? So that means you doing a schedule, you sticking your finger down in there about to your first knuckle, and if it's dry, you need to water. And that probably amounts to, in a raised garden, which is what your buckets are, anywhere from 1.5 inches, in this weather that we have, 1.5 inches to 2 inches of water a week. So that is blossom end rot. And here's another thing. Normally, your blossom end rot occurs on your initial tomatoes. The likelihood of blossom end rot continuing through the whole growing season is really unlikely. So if you can weather, if you will, this first bit of bad tomato, and you can still take those off and cut the bottom off and use them. But if you can just weather the storm, your tomatoes should be okay.
Charlie, you're bringing your A game today.
I'm bringing my A game today.
He's bringing his A game again in about 20 minutes. He'll be taking your calls again. Between now and then, Ron's going to do our weather and talk about possibly better temperatures on the other side of this break for our weekend.